Hello gorgeous people, so today I thought I would give you a little bit of an update because I know it's been a very long time since I've filmed anything and I really apologise for that, but I'll give you the reasons as to why I did that as well. So the reason I haven't filmed in a long time or posted anything in a long time is because I don't want to show you guys anything false and I don't want to lie to you about anything. So basically, I had another major relapse and I dropped quite a lot of weight again during Christmas, and it just continued to go down. And because I was also working, the weight was coming off quicker because obviously I was using quite a lot of energy because I do have quite a physical job. So I have taken the time off work again. I've made the decision to take time off again and to work with my mum in order to put my weight back on and be completely and utterly honest with her. So we worked to slowly increase my diet up to the calories I need to be intaking in order to gain, and I'm obviously going to have to continue to increase because my weight will just keep plateauing. So I will do a what I eat in a week soon to show you kind of what I'm currently on. But I would like to admit to you guys that I have realised I was very much in false recovery because I was nowhere near taking in what I needed to take in to gain weight, but I thought I was, and I would really like to apologise to you guys for portraying that I was in proper recovery, but I did honestly think I was at the time. But I've realised I was in major denial. Another thing I'm going to update you on is support has still been pretty shit. Like, I haven't had any emotional support whatsoever apart from my mum and dad, but like my mum is in no way a professional and she can only support you as much as she possibly can, which is what she is doing with me, but obviously she can't help with stuff she doesn't properly know how to logicalise in my head. So I did talk to my work and they gave me a number to get a counsellor through them, and I do have an appointment with the counsellor today, so I will update you on that later on if it goes well. But I thought I would just give you guys a little update and apologise for being so absent, but I've dedicated myself to recovering now. I am more willing to eat around people, so my mum or my dad or my nan will be sat with me with every meal or snack I have to make sure I have it. They will check my mouth, they will check my pockets to make sure that the little thing in my head isn't making me pull any tricks. So I think you've just got to come to a point in your head where you want to recover, where you fully want to recover, and you want to dedicate yourself to recovery, because nobody can make you do it. And I've come to a point now where I want to recover, because it got to the point where if I carried on going the way I was going, I probably would have been dead by now, which is a really scary thought. But it just shows how much of a control something can have over you, and you have really just got to come to a point where you want to recover and you want to dedicate yourself. And when you do, tell somebody you trust in your family so that they can sit with you through all the tears and the screaming and the stressing out and the shaking that you will have when you're eating something which you feel is completely abnormal. Like, if I did not have my mum sat with me, I would not be eating any of the stuff I'm eating now, because in the first few weeks I was shaking at every meal, I was crying at every meal, I was feeling so guilty, and I'm only now just starting to come to a point where I can feel more relaxed with eating things, and I am trying to challenge myself to a major fear food each week on the weekend, so you'll see that in my what I eat in a week, hopefully. But honestly guys, I hope that anybody who's going through it comes to a point where they want to recover, because honestly it's the worst kind of life you can have. And because I've done so much damage to my body in the first few weeks of recovery, my entire body felt like it was on fire. My feet, my joints, everything was swollen. I had no energy to walk. I was sleeping pretty much all of the time. My chest was in agony. I was having heart palpitations, which I still do get. Night sweats, which I still do get. But don't let that put you off recovering, because you need to go through that to get better. But the fact you're going through that just proves how much damage this thing does to you. And honestly, don't let it go on and on and on, because there is so much more to life than having something control you. And there is so much more to life than using that as a way to deal with stress. Anyway, I just wanted to give you that little update, and I will be doing a few more videos now as I'm off again, so I will have more time as well. But stay strong, stay positive, and remember, you are all absolutely gorgeous. Hello gorgeous people. So alongside the update video that I filmed a few days ago, I said that I would give you a little update on the whole support kind of basis and what's been going on with that. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm so sorry, that's my dog's barking. Anyway, just ignore them in the background. Being like completely and utterly honest, like I've said in a previous video, support isn't really brilliant, and it may be down to funding, but it may also just be down to, I don't really know. Basically, so I may have said I've got a new care coordinator, and they were meant to be doing all of this stuff and like arranging all these appointments and arranging for me to get a counsellor, because basically I was referred to the eating disorder place in the area that I live to have an assessment, and all they could offer was a 3-day daycare thing a week. So you would go for 3 days and just sit with a group of people, and like you'd be watched eating and stuff, which I didn't necessarily feel that I would benefit from, because I personally feel I need the emotional like counselling side of things sorted out rather than the foodie bit, because my eating disorder is very heavily emotional like based, and that's what needs to be sorted, and they couldn't offer that. And after that I did kind of go downhill, which is kind of why I went into another major relapse. Anyway, my care coordinator was meant to be sorting that out, and he came 4 weeks ago maybe with an AMP. If you don't know what an AMP is, it's an approved mental health professional practitioner, I think. And basically they're one of the people who, if you're gonna be put into hospital, they're able to section you and like evaluate the situation. So he's been continuously saying he doesn't want me to go into hospital, but he's doing all these things which kind of make me think he's trying to put me in hospital, like bringing this woman around. In that meeting he said he was going to be filling out a form for me to be referred, and I just needed to answer a few questions. And one of the questions was, what is my ultimate outcome of recovery? I would say my ultimate outcome is to be non-restrictive in any way, not even like necessarily to do with my diet. I'm also meaning to do with my life, because I've restricted myself from going to places and trying new things, which I want to get out of the habit of doing. Like, I actually want to socialise, I want to try and do new things. So I said that. And this is what makes me angry, and a few of the things he said in that session were extremely triggering. For example, he said, well, isn't everybody restrictive in life in their diet? And I was like, well, if somebody, say, wants a piece of cake, they're not going to starve themselves for the entire day in order to eat that cake, or they're not going to make themselves throw up after having that cake, or exercise 4 hours prior or 4 hours after, or restrict days after. They're going to eat the cake because they want the cake. And then I was saying how I'm trying to challenge fear foods and everything, and he was like, oh yeah, that's good, but don't push yourself too much. It's not like I'd put a roast dinner in front of you with all those carbs, which basically to me is like trying to say that carbs are bad for you, which they're not. You definitely need carbs, especially a lot of them in recovery. So that wasn't good. But he kind of made himself look like a bit of an idiot in front of this woman, and I think she kind of thought, what the hell am I doing here? This girl doesn't need to be hospitalised, because she is working with her parents to try and get herself better. So he said he was going to put the referral in. He was going to do it before he went on annual leave to make sure it all went through, so I wouldn't have to wait a long time. And it'd been 3 weeks. And nothing had happened. So I spoke to my doctor about it all, and he was absolutely disgusted, because he was like, well, that should be in place already, because emotional support is a major part of recovery. The mental stuff needs to be done alongside the physical stuff, because otherwise you're going to just keep relapsing, because it is a mental illness at the end of the day. Sorry, I keep looking out the window. So he was really, really not happy about that. And he said to me he can't blame me for all the relapses that I've had, because I've never had the mental support put in place. Sorry, that's been really rambly. I'm going to get to my really big point now. So last Friday, my care coordinator came around, and he said he didn't put the referral in until the 30th of May, which was not when he said he was going to put the referral in. He then said I would be on a major waiting list, and he then wanted me to express my feelings, which I did. And you guys know my feelings on the whole support thing, and the fact that I really do feel it's shit. And I basically explained to him how I said I feel like nobody really gives a shit, and that they kind of just want me in hospital because it's the easiest option. They don't want to actually have to handle it. And that basically, unless you meet a certain weight criteria, you're not deemed as ill enough, which quite frankly is, it really pissed me off, because it's not a physical illness and not everybody does become underweight from an eating disorder. And I explained to him how I felt that the system very much makes you feel that you're just a number. If you recover, great. If you don't and you end up dying, oh well, you're just another number. Let's just move on to the new person. And I was trying to explain to him how I really do need the emotional support, because if I don't get that, I am going to just continue to relapse. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. But yeah, I would just continue to relapse. And I was explaining to him how if I do just continue to relapse, every time I relapse, I know in myself I get worse and worse and worse, like the relapses just become worse and worse and worse. And honestly, if I were to relapse again, I don't actually think my body would be able to take any more damage. And I said to him, if I were to relapse again, I would likely end up dead, but that probably wouldn't bother you because you really don't give a shit. Everybody in this mental health system that I've been involved in, I'm not saying this is necessarily for every place, but where in my area for mental health it is utter shit, and they just make you feel like you're not a human, you're not worth anything, and if you die, you die. Like, they just don't really care. Well, that's how I personally view it. And I just kept going on and ranting about it. I didn't shout. I was getting a bit angry, but I didn't shout. Like, I stayed calm, but you could tell I was annoyed. And he said he was going to sort it out and he was going to call me on Monday. And he didn't call me on Monday. And now it is Wednesday and I still haven't phone call. I've got a doctor's appointment. Well, not doctor's appointment. A phone call with my doctor tomorrow on Thursday. So I'm going to explain it all to him because I'm pretty sure now this care coordinator is going to try and make me out to be completely and utterly mentally unstable. So that's an update of what's going on with emotional support. And I would just like to say to anybody who's going through this and anybody who is struggling to get emotional support, please just talk to somebody who you trust. Just talk to anybody so that you can get your feelings out, even if they don't completely understand. Sometimes it does help to just talk and get things out, and just know that you are worth something in the world. If they're making you feel like you're not, you are. You deserve to live and you deserve happiness and you deserve to get better, and just find that strength that you know you have deep down, and just fight and fight and fight, because then you can prove that you are strong enough to get better and you don't need those people, and you can just push and do it yourself, which is really hard and it shouldn't have to be that way, but for me that's how it's currently worked out. And yeah, I am scared that I'm probably going to relapse again, because the main emotional thing that I need to sort out is not going to be sorted out, and I'm having to relive that constantly, and I really just can't cope with that. I think I mentioned it in another video about like the fact I was assaulted, but sorry, that's not getting sorted out, and that's what's playing in my head, and that is what would likely be making me to relapse. But I am seriously trying my hardest to get myself better, because I want a life and I want to move forward, and I don't want to cause my parents and family any more pain like I have, because honestly, seeing my mum so worried and literally petrified that I'm gonna die is not a nice feeling, and seeing that in your little sister as well is not a nice feeling. Anyway, off topic. I just want to say to you guys that you're all amazing and you all deserve recovery and deserve happiness, and you're all beautiful, and I just want you to stay positive, stay strong. If you ever need to talk to somebody, please just comment below, and I would always be happy to talk through anything you don't understand. And if there's anything you want me to make a video on and explain, just let me know. I'm sorry that this update has been really rambly. I just do ramble a bit, but yeah, I will be doing a couple more, like, more positive videos, hopefully soon. I've just been busy, like, trying to focus on getting myself back on track. So thank you for watching, and I'm sorry that it's been ages since I've posted as well. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to let you be. Stay strong, stay positive, and remember, you are all absolutely gorgeous.